Folks, welcome to another Magnus's Loot Crate review. I am your host, as always, Magnus Deacon. Folks, today we are going to take a look at the Mechanics Studio MS-20 Iron Sky, their version of Astro Train. Now, folks, I really dig this dude, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. So folks, here is Mechanics Studio's Iron Sky in his clamshell. He doesn't come with really a whole lot of accessories, which that's to be expected because, I mean, come on, this Astro Train. What does Astro Train really need? But he's got two versions of his gun. Well, they're both exactly the same, but two of his guns. He's got a cover piece that goes over, I think it goes in part of the train mode or the shuttle mode. I'm not really sure. I think it's train mode to cover, you know, part of the top. I didn't really use it, but it's there in case you need it. And of course, he's also got his little instruction pack in the back. His looks pretty tightly packed, I have to admit. I do like this figure so far, but folks, let's go ahead, crack old Iron Sky out of the clamshell and throw him up on the turntable in his bot mode.
If I claim to be their supreme god, they will bow to the Decepticons.
Taking a look at Mechanics Studios Iron Sky in his bot mode, folks, this is definitely a decent little legend scale Astro Train. He looks really good, he fits the part of Astro Train. One of the only things I'm really not that thrilled about is he's not highly posable. There is sort of that little bit of trade-off there, I guess you could say. But he is a good looking little Astro Train. Hey folks, he does look really good in his bot mode. He's got his gun, as you can see, in his hand. And folks, I have to say, I do like this Astro Train. Now, that's going to definitely be setting up for some comparisons if any other company has ever come out with one, folks. But let's go ahead, take this little Astro Train, transform him up, and take a look at his train mode. So folks, getting a little more up close and personal, here we have the Mechanics Studios Iron Sky. He's a pretty decent looking version of Astro Train for a Legends figure. Now, Mech Fans Toys and Mechanics Studios, which they're the same company, they did a really good job on this. He's pretty big. I've seen people compare him to like Magic Squares and Optimus Prime and a couple other figures. He's a little bit bigger, but you can probably let that slide. Now you see I've already done my sticker magic on this guy, but let's go ahead and transform him up and take a look at his other two modes. Taking a look at Mechanics Studios Iron Sky in his train mode, folks, I have to admit I can't remember any point in my life where I ever saw a train that had booster rockets on the back end of it, folks. That's always the part that's kind of gotten me a little bit. But folks, he does look like a decent little train mode. I believe that's some sort of diesel engine, folks. I'm not really sure. I know it was a style of train that was popular back right around the 1980s, but I can't really be totally sure. But folks, this is still a decent looking little train mode. I kind of hate that he didn't come with some extra little train cars just to kind of give it that extra effect. But folks, that doesn't detract from the figure. He is still a good looking little train mode. So folks, that's it with his train mode. Let's go ahead, transform him up, and take a look at the shuttle mode. Rounding off this little look at Mechanics Studios Iron Sky with a shuttle mode, folks, I have to admit, this mode looks fairly decent. The only thing that I can see wrong with this particular shuttle mode is the fact that the fin on the back of the shuttle looks a little small, which I understand it has to be a little small so that it can fit the transformation. But I do have to admit that part does kind of kill it a little bit. Not much. It's still a really decent transformation. It's pretty decent little shuttle mode, folks. But that's pretty much all I can really say about that. It looks really nice. It does have that shuttle look and feel to it. And it kind of rounds off this figure. It does have a pretty decent mode for both train mode and shuttle mode, which most triple changes have to sacrifice one mode or the other to look good. But folks, there he is. That is Mechanic Studios MS-20 Iron Sky. Alright folks, that's it from Mechanic Studios Iron Sky. Pretty decent little figure in my opinion, but you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at the final verdict, and I will see you next time.
Has the Imperial Magistrate reached a verdict? I have.
Find these figures and more at the ShowZ store. Links in the description.